up, Headspaces? Yeah, but Slungsi swag. It's VJ, the brother from the ancient mother. Winter season, where we're in spring. Another Phula-Phula. It's amazing. I've been listening to so many different verses from so many different eras of the South African hip-hop journey, and sometimes I get confused. You know, my people, I don't know where to start. So I'm going to keep it interesting. I also do want you to please give me feedback on your favorite songs that you feel are worthy for this segment, because this is not just VJ's favorite verses. This is Phula-Phula. This is literally a testament and a moment to some of South African rap's monumental verses. So there's a lot, and I know there's a lot that you can contribute to. So please holla at me, because it's better that way. So today, a song that has pretty much remained a staple amongst like real religious South African hip hop heads. Like, I mean, if you followed SA hip hop from about the year 2000, yeah, then you know the song and you know this MC. And if you're new to the game, you might know this song if you're a real student of the history of South African hip hop. This comes from the time where Dumi, aka Stogie T, was establishing his label and bringing us an array of the artists who were there. He had the vocalist Fifi, and he had an interesting MC who never quite released even a full project on Motif Records. Yes, there must be an episode for us to ask the question, what happened to Syntax? Because I saw a clip on another podcast that I will not mention, because, you know, competition, where they were interviewing Dumi, and he even forgot the nigga's name. He was like, yo, that nigga. I'm like, how could you forget somebody you signed? Anyway, that says more about Dumi than the MC. The rapper's name is Syntax, and the reason I'm doing this song called Come Again, which is available on Motif's mixtape that they did. It was an incredible mixtape. It had River of Hearts, it had a lot of artists that were there. It had Kanan even made a special appearance in that mixtape. But I want to focus on this particular song called Come Again. Why? I think, as far as hip-hop love songs go, oh my god, listen guys, for me, this is the best South African hip-hop love song that's ever been created. And I mean, look, there's been quite a number of love songs that have hit us in very sensitive places. Most notable being, I'm thinking of H2O's
It's Wonderful.
It's Wonderful. Shit, H2O actually did a number of love songs.
Yeah,
you know,
All Natural.
All Natural is there too. Damn, Tageza, you got some love songs off the top?
Yo, off the top of my head, I know, come.
It is quite a nice. It's that many. It really is.
Yeah.
But I think Come Again is the leader of the pack, because it does one. It isn't only about a man being smitten with a woman. It speaks of women in ways that are embracing of the intimacy and the vulnerability of how women make us feel. Because a lot of the times when rappers are in love, they want to talk about love in a way that still preserves the kind of integrity of their ego. But if we're being honest, love is something that breaks the ego. True love, when you really have, you know, really have feelings, when you have done that, when you have caught the feelings, it does this amazing thing where it kind of just breaks your logic and rationality to a place where you are embracing not always being in control. And what I love about this song is a man who embraces how weak and helpless coming across this woman makes him feel, and he's trying to get to the bottom of that. And he's kind of articulating it for himself and letting us listen into his private conversation as he tries to make sense of why he's in love with this particular muse. So he starts by saying,
a child of radiance, I wondered if her lights would surround my radius. Surround, outline and shade it in, creates a contrast designed to make amends.
It's like, whew, if we're not just gonna talk about the way this guy plays with words and how they sound, the ways in which he leverages a level of poeticism that when you close your eyes, you literally are driven into this illustrious image of a love that is bigger than life. He starts off by saying a child of radiance. She shines, and he wonders if her lights, if this shining light would surround his radius. Would she always be at the center of his becoming? Surround, outline, and shade it in, create a contrast designed to make amends. To be able to be together and still conflict each other in many ways, yet always work to repairing, you know. So I love the fact that when you use a broad vocabulary, it is very easy to step into a place of elitism. It's very easy to step into a place of supposed losing of a general audience in favor of so-called high art. Because if we're going to examine the layers that are possible with each and every word, we're driven to this place where we examine the best words to use. So for instance, the fact that he says create a contrast instead of saying fight in ways that can make amends, but he says we create a contrast, then he's going into the word. A contrast is both a conflicted condition, but it's also a state where opposites unite. And this is what's so beautiful about language, whether it be English or any other language, is that when you fully get into the depths of language, you get into the poetic realm, which allows you to not only use words for what they mean, but how they feel. So the word contrast definitely puts more of a punch than conflict or any other word. He continues.
A smile with sacred lips, hereditary of a bloodline that made a king.
Sheesh. Still talking about this sister, describing how she now looks physically, describing her lips as sacred, is pretty straightforward, but now talking about her bloodline, saying she oozes royalty. And he says that by saying
hereditary of a bloodline that made a king. Could she proudly stay with him with no notes, just quotes inside my paperclip?
Asking himself the question, would she even want to be with me? Because I don't have anything that I've kept, I don't have anything that I've amassed, but all I have are these quotes inside my paperclip. And for me, I understand that as just being a rapper, a writer. Syntax was echoing the fact that, look girl, I don't have all the money in the world, but all I have is this treasure of the word. And as I speak to you, if you can appreciate how my love for language is really a love for people, would you stay? Would that be enough?
I verbally signed a statement which bound me to the island of our relationship.
Now he's going back to some shit he was suffering through, you know. And then he continues.
If this feeling is what I found, I'm embracing it with the entirety of my life, the greatest gift.
So he's saying, I've been through a whole lot with Umcholo, but if what this feels like right now is worth pursuing, then the greatest thing I could give is myself to you. Very important footnote on this is the fact that a lot of the times hyper-masculine culture tends to put the pressure on what a man can give financially and whatnot. We all know that's because of just how the system is set up and how masculinity positions itself in a place of dominance. So for a man to say that the greatest thing that he can give is not his provision nor his alpha maleness, but his life, my time, my space, to give you an aspect of the time I spend on this planet is something I would gladly do, because I want to spend your time with you as well. So the fact that in love what we do is we sacrifice our time willingly for those who we are attracted to.
That I can ever present this maiden with, I recollect in retrospect her saving sense.
You know, she smells good, and it makes me think about it. I sometimes sit and think about, goddamn, she smells good.
A motif staying with inside my cranium, linked closely to the stakes, nostalgic main events.
A lot of poeticism there. Simply saying a motif, and I don't know, sometimes I get tempted to think that he chose that word because that was the record label he was repping, but a motif is a structure. A motif is a framework that something is built upon. So he's saying that the framework is staying. She's made herself inside his head so deeply that every time he anticipates and thinks back on the moment they've spent together and anticipates the moments they are yet to spend together, hence going into this date's nostalgic main event. Every moment with this woman is a main event and it gets nostalgic.
My horizon's gradients tilted to the side by the eyes of face possessed.
So basically saying that the edge of what I am is basically gotten off balance. Girl, you put me off balance just by the way you look. He goes on to talk about how fine she is physically.
The touch of mascara, faint lines of makeup led to black era fabric, textiles or native dress.
Now he's going all head to toe. He's giving us the image of that Afrocentric soul sister, quote unquote. The one who decides to keep her hair natural, the one who embraces kente cloth or any other kind of indigenous African fabric. He's giving us that image of that particular archetype of a black woman.
My tribulations and trials contained in prints. What I stipulated must outshine a reigning prince.
Right here he's basically saying everything I've gone through and I've said to you has got to be better than what any other motherfucker has been saying. Said outshining a reigning prince is basically, girl, I'm here, and if there's any other brother or sister who's interested in you, I'm here to make myself felt.
Sincerely yours, tax. I signed the letter sent. My graceful pages end. PS. Send me the text.
So he's echoing into this letter, talking about, you know, it might be a literal letter, but also just living life with this woman, coming across her. Everything inscribed in his heart is something he keeps documenting for himself, and he expresses to her in a way that he would really want. I mean, you know, when you really like a person, you count your words, and you count them in a way where you'd love for everything you say to just have that much more of an impact.
You're a mountain made of bricks, a solid rock on which a sound foundation's built. So
you're stable. With you, I feel strong. I'm able to literally be in your presence and feel that this is somebody who's structured and understands themselves. Hence a mountain is an imposing structure, and if it's made of bricks, there's a beautiful architecture there. There's planning. There's a construct. So you understand yourself in ways that feel so methodical that you make me feel free and comfortable to be around you, because, I mean, you're a sister who knows what she's about.
So focal point slash a heightened state of bliss. I wanted to frame and mount this priceless painting's edge.
So again, he is basically creating this pedestal and letting us know that he feels the need to humble himself in her presence. And if you don't feel like that, I'm not sure if it's love, because there's something about connecting with somebody that you're deeply in love with that always brings you outside of your ego space. It lets you call yourself in, call yourself out, and realize that, you know what matters more than what I want is understanding how we can both reach a mutual possible agreement. And maybe that is compromise, maybe that's sacrifice on my part, maybe it's on her part, but the point is we work towards figuring out what the best possible way is, and that's humility, and that's love.
How far am I taking things as far as echoing outcries from stadiums?
Whew. Come on now, come on. Especially in South Africa where the vuvuzelas be wilding, you know that these echoing outcries, he's saying, how far am I willing to go as loud and as proud as possible with this love? And that can be literal. You know, you could be the kind of person who literally loves shouting on the top of the mountain who you're in love with and why. Or it might be just through deed, through the subtle things you do for your partner, through your partner, with your partner, in how you appreciate them and striving to always do the best and be the best for them, because it just feels good that way. And then he signs it off.
The path I'm taking is an act of faithfulness. Attractive lady friend, come back my way again. Come back my way.
So again, a lot of this structurally has been playing with syllables, playing with the ways in which we rhythmically encounter words and using the rhythm of words to draw beautiful parallels in the way the words sound in and of themselves. So, attractive lady friend, come back my way again. So, being able to merge both your message, but in a way where it's got a beautiful rhythm. Da 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 da. And that's the beauty of rap. What it does is it takes poetry, which is the vulnerability of the human soul in writing, and it's able to draw those lines in metric terms. That means meter. You count your words. A true dope MC counts their words in relation to the beat, because how words sound. See, that's 3 right there. How words sound. I could have said how letters sound. See that? That's 4. How letters sound. So there is an embedded rhythm in everything that we say, and a great MC knows how to have a good day and night with that. You're able to not only take in words based on how they're functionally said, as in the way we use them every single day, but you hear the playful rhythm in words, and you delve deep into that and turn the words themselves into music. Syntax did this gloriously, and it stands the test of time as an ode to love, and also, I guess, as an ode to the rhythms that love takes us through. So I think if there's anything that I want people to kind of understand about this verse, it's the fact that it emphasizes that words in and of themselves are music. They are a rhythm. And that when we listen to this rhythm of words, we learn to appreciate them differently. Outside of what they mean, we delve into just how they hit, how they come across our bodies, how they hit us when they sound, you know, how the difference between saying big, colossal, gigantic, and gargantuan isn't just a synonym of the different words that just mean big. It's about the kind of flavor and the kind of rhythm you want to paint as you create this beautiful painting as a rapper. Classes in session, we do this because it elevates lyricism. It teaches us that rap is an art form, and rap is living, breathing poetry. Shout out to Syntax, wherever he is. I hope he's still alive, and if he is, I hope he's watching this episode. Somebody who knows him, please holler at him. Love to talk to him, talk about his story. The unwritten stories are the most important, and Headspace is for that. And that's why we do this segment and many of the other segments. This in particular, Phula-Phula, is about listening, dissecting, and understanding the importance of the rap songs that have made their way into the history of this country. VJ, the brother from the ancient mother, I'll be back very, very soon.